Hello everyone, it's Kevin, and welcome back to another tutorial. Today, I'll be showing you how you can get started deploying smart contracts on Moonbeam using Thirdweb. Thirdweb is a complete Web3 development platform that offers a variety of SDKs, audited smart contracts, tools, and other infrastructure. Thirdweb wants to help you to do everything in any language that you want. Thirdweb has a ton of offerings, and while we don't have time to look at all of them today, we will get you started quickly building with Thirdweb on Moonbeam. And Thirdweb has tons of video tutorials and written documentation, so when you're ready to dive deeper on Thirdweb, we'll leave you the links for those to go ahead and check those out. So today, we'll get started and set up with a template for an ERC 721 web app. It's one that will allow you to mint an NFT, and you'll also be able to see an image of the NFT, and you'll be able to see a counter of how many NFTs have been minted thus far. We'll handle all of the prerequisites. Don't worry, there aren't too many. And we'll wrap up with a demo of the Thirdweb CLI. So if you want to see a different way that you can interact with Thirdweb other than the web UI, we'll get started with the CLI, and we'll show you how well it integrates together with the UI of Thirdweb. So without further ado, let's go ahead and get started. To get started, head to thirdweb.com and go ahead and press Get Started. And then go ahead and connect your wallet. We'll choose MetaMask in this case. And I've already signed up for an account, so I'm welcomed back to sign in, but you may have to create one if this is your first time visiting Thirdweb. And let me just run through a couple of the different features that Thirdweb offers. So Thirdweb offers a ton of different wallet integrations, making it very easy for you to integrate a wallet picker into your dApp, so you don't have to go through and say, hey, do I want to support MetaMask plus Talisman plus Wallet Connect plus all these different options. Instead, Thirdweb makes it very easy for you to integrate that capability very, very easily and seamlessly. Next up, Thirdweb has a ton of different pre-built and audited smart contracts, perhaps some that are not audited, but many are, and they will indicate which ones are. These are robust contracts for ERC 721s, for ERC 20s, 1155s, and much, much more. Many of these are built by Thirdweb. Many of them are also sourced from the community. So there is quite a collection and a growing collection here of these contracts. And we'll take a look at one in particular that we're going to build and launch. In particular, the ERC 721 drop contract. Thirdweb also has payment integrations as well as infrastructure, including RPC services and smart RPC networks, so you can filter by particular web addresses. So you can limit the calls to your infrastructure to a particular web address. Today we're going to be working with a Thirdweb template, and we'll leave a link in the description, and you can also access it by going to github.com/thirdweb-example. We'll be checking out the ERC 721 option, and we'll be following along with the README pretty closely. If this is your first time interacting with Thirdweb, it's a good idea to go ahead and install the Thirdweb CLI, and you can do so with the command npm-i thirdweb. This will also come in handy for when we interact with the Thirdweb CLI at the end of this video. So go ahead and open up your terminal, and we'll go ahead and run this command, which will go ahead and initiate an ERC 721 template project. Cool, and we are going to have to provide a couple of different parameters. We're going to have to name our project, so we'll call it NFT drop. The CLI will install any necessary packages that we need, and we're all set. So go ahead and open up the project in your preferred code editor, and there are a couple steps that we'll need to take here. One of the things we'll need is an API key, and so let's go ahead and create that on Thirdweb, and then we'll come back to our project. So in order to create an API key, you can head over to Settings, and I already have one created, but let's go ahead and create a new one. So we'll call it NFT drop. And you can specify the different parameters for your API key. If you'd like to enable IPFS, if you'd like to enable RPC services, etc. We're going to go ahead and choose Next. We don't need to set up smart wallets in this case. And here you're going to be asked to specify allowed domains, so a domain whitelist. In this case, we can specify a local host, but we'll just choose unrestricted access to make it simple. We'll press Create, and here you'll get a client ID and a secret key. The client ID you'll be able to access later, the secret key you won't be able to access later. But it's a good idea to copy both of these and put them in a safe place, such as a password manager. Go ahead and copy your client ID, And we're going to paste this into our app.tsx. And you can search for client ID. Let me bring this up here. And go ahead and paste that in. We'll save it. So if we head back to the README here, it will mention that we'll need to go ahead and deploy an NFT drop on Thirdweb prior to building the rest of our project. And so there is a quick guide here showing you exactly how to do that. So if you want to check that out, this is a great place to start. You actually don't need to go through all of these steps. What we can do here is we can go to this NFT drop contract and we can deploy it directly on Thirdweb's UI. So go ahead and press deploy NFT drop. And you can read through the contract, see how it works. You can view an audit report here, a published date, a license. All of this is important information to know. And in this case, we'll go ahead and press deploy now. We're going to choose a contract name and description. This image here is not an NFT file. This is purely to help you identify it within your dashboard. So if you've got dozens of different projects, this is a great way to quickly identify what project you want to find. We can call it NFT drop. We can also specify a royalty address, primary sales address, etc. In this case, I'm keeping it both as my address and I'm not specifying a royalty percentage. For here, network/chain, we're choosing Moonbase Alpha, which may not be chosen as a default, so you'll need to go in and go ahead and just search for Moonbase Alpha, and then we'll select it. You can also choose Moonbeam, Moonriver, or any other network that you'd like. Also, this checkbox here is very important. This just adds it to your dashboard on Thirdweb, so it's easy for you to find. If you don't select this, you'll need to remember your contract address, and it'll make it a little bit harder to find. So we'll go ahead and press deploy now. And the little 2 icon that you saw lets us know there'll be 2 steps that we need to complete. The first one is this confirmation here. So we'll confirm it to deploy the contract. And the second one will just be a signature in order to add the contract to our dashboard so that we can see it. We'll go ahead and sign this. And our contract is deployed. You can find the address here, and you'll also see a quick checklist here letting you know next steps. And there are a few more steps that we need to take here in order to configure our NFT contract. We've deployed our contract and it's asking us to head to the NFTs tab to upload our NFT metadata. This NFT drop campaign uses lazy minting, which means that we will prep an NFT, we'll provide it with the image and the metadata, and then a user will be able to claim it depending upon the claim conditions that we've set. I've generated an NFT via AI, which I'm very excited to use, and it is a race car NFT. So we'll go ahead and upload it. Add a description, you can add traits if you'd like, and you can check out other options. But that's all we need to do for now. So we'll go ahead and confirm the transaction. Feel free to add additional NFTs, and you can also batch mint multiple NFTs. So for the sake of time, I'm going to stick with just this single one, but you should feel free to mint more. Cool, so our NFT is minted successfully. We can see that the claim supply is 0, and the unclaimed supply is 1, exactly as we expected. The next step that we need to take is we need to go to claim conditions, and we need to specify the conditions for who can claim this NFT. So go ahead and press add phase, and we're going to choose public, and we're going to choose as many NFTs as are out there. They can go ahead and mint them, but once we hit that limit, there will be no more left to mint. And we also can specify an amount. We'll charge 1 dev per NFT. So go ahead and press save, and we'll need to confirm the transaction in MetaMask. Cool, so we saved our claim phase, and our contract is just about ready to go. I want to point out before we head back to our project, the code snippets page. This is extremely helpful, particularly for any type of language that you're using. If you're using JavaScript, Python, Go, there are many options. And Thirdweb provides you with code snippets for each language for many, many different possible actions. So if you want to, for example, get all of the claimed NFTs, if you want to lazy mint an NFT, you have code snippets here showing you exactly how to do that, which is extremely helpful. So be sure to check out the code snippets page. It is extremely helpful. You also have an overview tab, which can show you some analytics. It can show you some information about the NFTs that you have here. If you have many different ones or multiple different events that have taken place, this is a great page to check out as well. So let's go ahead and copy the address of our smart contract. Let's head back to our project. There are a few things that we need to do in our parameters.ts file, and we can do that under the constants page here. So head under parameters, and let's go ahead and replace the contract constant with the actual address of our smart contract. And we'll save it. Okay, and lastly, we just need to add Moonbase Alpha into our project. And Thirdweb maintains a list of chain IDs and chain names here. So if you're uncertain what the exact formatting of the name is, you can just search for it in the Thirdweb dev repo. So Moonbase Alpha will look like this. We'll go ahead and import Moonbase Alpha from Thirdweb dev/chains. And then we'll go ahead and change the chain constant to Moonbase Alpha. Go ahead and press save. And that's it. You have additional parameters here for if you'd like to set up gasless transactions. That's beyond the scope of this video, but it is something that's covered in the template README. So feel free to check that out as well. Let's head back to the README and make sure that we're not missing any steps. So we configured the parameters to the chain ID. We changed the contract address to our deployed smart contract. And you can also mess around with the styling if you'd like. That would be very cool. And that's really all that's left. Let's go ahead and get it running locally. And if that works, we can go ahead and deploy it. So to get it running locally, let's go ahead and run yarn dev. And we can access it at this link. And we can see our NFT. We can see that no NFTs have been minted yet. We can connect our wallet and go ahead and actually do that. But first, I'd like to actually deploy this to IPFS, and then we'll mint it from there. So heading back to the README, it's very simple to deploy. And all we need to do is, let's stop our dev server here. All we need to do is run yarn deploy. And our project is deployed. Let's go ahead and connect our wallet. Choose MetaMask. And let's go ahead and mint this NFT. We'll confirm the transaction in MetaMask. And that's it. The NFT drop is now sold out. So it really is that easy. Before we go, I want to take another quick look at the Thirdweb CLI, and I want to show you how it hooks into the Thirdweb UI. So let's return to our terminal really quickly, and we'll go ahead and create a new folder. And we created our contract in the Thirdweb UI, but you can also do it from the CLI. So in order to do that, you can run npx thirdweb, create contract, and it will walk you through steps to create any contract that you'd like. So let's say we want to create an ERC20 token. We'll just call it an ERC20. We'll specify the framework of Hardhat or Forge. In this case, we'll choose Hardhat. And what should the name of our smart contract be? My ERC20. And we can choose a type of contract. We can choose an empty one, ERC721, ERC20, 1155. In this case, we'll choose ERC20. We can also choose from different features and extensions that we'd like to add to our contract. We'll choose none in this case, and it will install all the dependencies that we need. So we can run a couple of commands here locally. So after cding into the correct directory, we can run yarn build to go ahead and compile our contracts. If we run yarn deploy, this will push us back towards the Thirdweb UI, and we can also run yarn publish as well. But let's go ahead and run build and deploy. Cool, that was easy. Let's go ahead and deploy it. Cool, so this will send us back to the Thirdweb UI. and it will allow us to specify a couple of different contract parameters here, including the name, the symbol, anything else that's required, and then we can choose the chain that we'd like to deploy to. Let's go ahead and step through this. We'll choose, okay, my test token, an MTT, and you'd probably like to add the contract to your dashboard, so make sure that you select that, and then choose the correct network that you'd like to deploy to. Then we'll go ahead and press deploy now, and we're going through similar steps as last time. So we'll leave it right here. In this video, we just wanted to get you started on building with Thirdweb on Moonbeam and show exactly how easy it is to get started. You saw how easy it was to build with that template. Now, there are tons more templates. There are tons of tutorials. There is a fantastic YouTube channel that the Thirdweb team maintains, and they take you through very deep and detailed tutorials building out an entire web app. They show you how to do all sorts of integrations and build something that's really full-featured. So I highly recommend that you check those out. Thank you so much for watching this video, and I look forward to seeing you in the next one.